Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be something different. It's gonna be like get ready with me, a chit chat, personal life as a refugee in South Africa. But life was a little bit tough for us, so we had to move in South Africa. I'm from Congo. I'm a refugee in South Africa. I've seen many people, especially refugees, that are really not proud to be called refugee. They try to like hide where they're from, and I've seen also those that are really proud of being who they are. So it's a personal thing, and I'm not here to speak for anyone. I'm just here to speak for myself and my experience as a refugee in South Africa, which some is really funny and ridiculous, and some is really saddening. So an Islam is like some sort of identification where you are identified as a refugee and not as a South African citizen. It's for you in order to go and study, work. So when I did apply and got my Islam and went to school, and because I did my high school study also here in South Africa. It starts from 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, 4 years, and then you go move until you get your permanent residency. There was another day at my church. They wanted to send me away, and then they asked me my paper. So and then I gave them my permit as my identification. And then the person told me, don't you have something like a valid document I can apply for your claim? Because they wanted to send me to Joburg. We are in PE, that's where I stay. I said, no, that's my valid documentation. That's where I got from Refugees Home Affairs. This is what they give us refugees to be identified. So he went. I said, no, go and go book a ticket. I'm sure they do accept us. And then he went book a ticket, and then they accepted it, and then I flew, so that was my first encounter. One of the problems that I had. And then another problem was I went at Celsius store. Okay. When I finished my high school, I started working, and I wanted to get a contract form at Celsius store. So I went to Celsius store. There was a lady there helping. That was a gentleman helping. And then he said, give me your identification document. And then I gave my identification document. And then he was like, what is this? I said, no, this is my identification. It's my... Hi, Sisi. We don't know this. I don't know this thing, Kinga. I said, no, this is my identification document. I mean, read. It says there I'm allowed to apply a loan, open a bank, work with this documentation. I was like, he called his colleague. I was like, hi, Sissy. I was like, hi, how are you? I was like, Kunchan. I was like, I'm good, sis. How are you? She was like, I'm okay. And then his friends was like, hey, his colleague was like, hey, do you know this kind of documentation? She was like, hi, Sissy. Don't you have ID? I said, no, I'm not a South African. I don't have ID. This is what we have. This is what we use. So I was like, man, we don't know this kind of documentation. We must have a South African ID. So I had not to apply. And I had to go to another service provider, which they recognized that, and then they issued me my contract for the first time. So yeah, so it's really not easy some people are not familiar with how refugees come to the country, how their life is, and so, and then you get this ignorant questions and ignorant reaction from people because they're not aware and they're not educated on, they are not educated on they're not aware, or they don't know about the refugees and their life in South Africa. So yeah, and I've had somebody who asked me a question: why am I here? She said, why are you foreigners here in South Africa? Why can't you go other places? Why can't you go to other places? Like, why can't you go to Nigeria? Why can't you go to other countries? Why here? Why South Africa? And I answered her, told her, said, do you know there are other refugees also in Nigeria or in Angola or other African countries that are being asked the same questions? Why are you guys here and not other places? So yeah, it's really tough. You really get asked most ignorant questions. I don't think any questions is stupid. I think questions are just ignorant, that people are not aware of the situation and the things that's happening. So yeah, one of my friends, when I completed my high school study, he asked me, I was just explaining to him my situation, and he said, oh really? And he said, why don't you apply for it? I said, I can't. I wish I can apply for a loan, but they're not going to help me with my refugee's ID. And then he was like, come, let's get married. I was like, I'm going to marry you now. We can go to Home Affairs, get married now, so you can have your paper sorted out. I was like, no, I was like, I love to do that, but I do not want to do that. I like to do things in the proper way. I just like to do things the proper way. I want to feel like I've earned whatever I've done in my life. I've earned my residency. I've earned everything, slowly but surely. So yeah, I was like, no. But it was. First I thought he was joking, but he was not joking. He was really serious. He was like, Nella, because my nickname is Nella. He was like, Nella, well, can do it. I want to help you. If it means your life will be much easier, say no. I would rather go through what I go through, which is fine. And why am I bringing that up? Because some people think foreigners date the South African citizen because there was some form of documents, which is true. There are the legit people that do not want that, who wants the right way. Because if you are a refugee in South Africa, I don't know about other countries, but I know for a fact as Congolese people, because we are running away from war and stuff happening there, and we are here as refugees, you can't go back to your home country. You're not allowed to go back. You can even get your passport. You can have a passport. You can travel all over the world, wherever you want to go in the world. But you are not allowed to go back to your country because you've run away from a problem, from a situation that you cannot go back until, if you want to go back willingly, you said no, I want to go back to my home country, things are better, you are free to go, but then you can't come back. I really like being here. I like the life, especially now. I'm really loving my life. I have an amazing child, a boy. He's super adorable. I have an amazing partner. I have some amazing friends, and I am currently doing my studies as a nurse, and I really love that. challenges everywhere. We have Congolese people, we have amazing food, amazing music, amazing dancers, that we celebrate a lot of things together. I'm really not good at African language. I even struggle with my own language. My clicks are not so good. So because people were making fun of my clicks, I kinda back from it. I kinda back from speaking. That's delayed me from learning. When I meet other black people and then they try to speak to me, and then I say, I respond in English, I say, I don't understand. They get offended. Especially the old people, they really get offended, and then they're like, hi, why don't you speak where you're from? And I'll tell them where I'm from. Like, but it doesn't matter. There are people where you're from, they can speak their language. I'm like, yes, but I don't. Sometimes I applied for something, they did not accept me because of my status as a refugee. They just told me, no, sorry, we can't. But the person who works inside called me privately and said, do you have any form of identification? They said, this is what I must use. I am a refugee. I have refugee passport and I have refugee ID. You know, that's all I can have, nothing more. I was like, sorry, man. This one, sorry. Because you see, if you were a South African person, it would be much easier. And I was like, okay, it's fine. I understand, it's fine. So, that's just what happened to me. And even when I did apply at school, accept me, some other lady told me like, it's too much trouble. The Home Affairs must confirm, they must do this, they must do that. So we rather not because it's too much trouble for us. That's why you get people having just businesses, selling stuff on the street, and then you get those xenophobic stuff like, they come here to steal our job, they're opening businesses, they have tuck shops, they have this. Some of them, they can't get a job because of the documentation that they are holding. So they're only easy for them to make a living, and they can't go back home due to the situation. And the only thing they can do is sell something because it's their own stuff. Nobody's gonna ask them to have this ID, to have that, and they can make a living from that. It's really, really not easy. I mean, but we do have life. We go out, we party. I'm really thankful for my friends. I think my friends should be thankful for me because they have an amazing friend. I can be hard sometimes, but I'm really super amazing. Like, it's not nice you go somewhere to apply for something and they tell you they cannot help you because your paper, your identification is not valid. Just breaks your soul, just breaks your self-esteem. the confidence as a human being, because as human, the only thing that we seek for is recognitions and validation, and to be accepted. And when you are not being accepted because of who you are, not personally you as a human being, because you cannot be identified in a certain way, and you just feel less of yourself. But one thing I'm so thankful about being a refugee in South Africa is that there's no form of camps like other countries where refugees have to stay in a camp, and where they are being provided food, they go to school, but they can't live any outside of that camp. That refugee, when they are here in South Africa, you're allowed to live wherever you want to live and do whatever you want to do. But they will give you that paper that will not get you anywhere. It's for you to be free, but it's not gonna. And I'm super duper thankful. But my life has not been easy. My life has been very rough. I'm such a fighter. I fight, and I get what I want. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. I don't know if I was just jumping down in bed and trying to see, because it's very personal. I don't like talking about this. People don't like talking about this. People don't like being asked questions about this. I don't know why, but I think the more and more we talk about this and the more we address the situation, maybe it's going to be a little bit better. Life can be maybe not so easy. Life is not easy. Life is very difficult for everybody, but just a little bit nice, yeah, it's very touchy subject. It's very sensitive subject, and if by any way I offend somebody, I really apologize. If some words didn't come out right, I really apologize, because it can be very sensitive. And yeah, and that's just how my life is in South Africa. And refugee, it's not easy to be a foreigner in a foreign country. There are advantage and disadvantage in everything. But anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. I didn't even lose the product that I used, because it was just a chit chat and me doing my makeup. I use Glamour products, and I love this eyeshadow palette. It's very nice. And the fixing spray is very nice. Thank you so much. If it's your first time watching, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if it's not your first time, you can also like and share. But if you've already subscribed, you don't have to subscribe. But if you haven't subscribed, please, I will appreciate it if you can subscribe. And if you want to share this video, please feel free to share this video. I don't know if I've been specific. I was just jumping, just chit chat, just telling my stories. Yeah, thank you so much for watching.